This is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel, and it's squash season. It's just cooking season. It's Tuesday morning, and I've got up this morning, and I just feel like cooking. So I've got some squash and zucchini, and I've got some broccoli, and whatever else I decide to fix today. It's just a prepping kind of day. So I have got squash and zucchini in here that I am frying, and in the zucchini are about this size. You can see the squash. I've got 3 squash. 2 of them are about this size, and 1 of them was a little bit bigger than that. And in here I've got 1 stick of butter, and I've got 1 large onion that I've sliced up. It's down on it's on the bottom. So I'm gonna cut up the rest of these, and all you do is, for those of you that don't know how to fix squash or want to try it because you've got an overabundance of squash in your garden, this is what you do. You just cut up your squash into circles about this size, disc, whatever you want to say. Slice it up about, you can see, and you put the onions in the bottom and the butter, and then you just put them in there, and I'm gonna turn them over in a minute once I get them both cut and get them all coated in the butter. Then I'm gonna put a lid on it, and I'm just gonna let them cook down. I like my squash really mushy. So this pan is gonna cook down to, I'll show you when I get these cut up how full it is, and then I'll show you what it looks like after it's cooked, and you won't believe it because it cooks up to little or nothing, kind of like spinach does. But anyway, let me cut these up, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to tell you, to show you, this is the pan now. I'm going to turn my heat down to about 240, and which is a low, I guess. Well, not low. I don't know. It's not quite medium. Medium was at 275, so it's on 240 on my NuWave. But I put, after I got off with y'all last time, I put about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in here, along with the butter, because it's gonna just evaporate into, the butter's gonna evaporate into the squash, and it's gonna be pretty dry. So I put the oil in here. I put in about 3/4 of a tablespoon of kosher salt, and about a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper. And that's what's in here. And now I'm gonna put the lid on it. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm just going to let this cook down until it's really soft, and I'll tell you how long when I bring you back. I'm going to fix some broccoli in my Instant Pot. I've got my squash going there, and I've got 1 big bowl of broccoli florets that I'm going to put in here. And first I'm going to, this is in my Instant Pot, so first I'm going to get Alicia to put this, squish it down in the Instant Pot. Alright, and then I've got, I don't know, about 12 ounces, 16 ounces of water, 2 cups, whatever. You don't have to use but a cup, but I usually always go on and put more in there. So pour that in there. So that's going in the Instant Pot. Alright, and then pour the broccoli in there. And I'm going to put a, let me see. Let's see. There you go.
It's a lot of broccoli.
Yeah, it'll cook down though. Alright, and so I'm going to put a 1/2 stick of butter in there. And then I'm going to put probably a 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt and a teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper in here. Let me go on and do that, because your Instant Pot, the herbs and spices that are whatever that you use in your Instant Pot, that they just come together and they're remarkable. So I always put some type of spices in here. So I'm gonna put about 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, and then kosher salt, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper, and I've got the 1/2 stick of butter in there, so it's gonna all like come together and all this. So let's see, just a teaspoon of pepper in here, because you don't want your broccoli too spicy. All right, now I've got my lid. I'm gonna make sure that it's set to sealing. Right there, I'm going to put my lid on, lock it, and then I'm going to bring you in and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to manual, and then I've got to come all the way down to 4 minutes. And I'm just going to let it cook. And then as soon as this is done, I'm going to let the pressure off and put this in a bowl. And hopefully the squash will be done by then. And we will come back and we're going to eat some squash and some broccoli. So I'll bring you back. Okay, y'all, the broccoli is done. The squash is still cooking. I had to cut the NuWave down to 600 volts when I used the Instant Pot, though, or it would kick the breaker. So I've got it back up to 1500 volts now, and or watts, not volts, watts. 1500 watts. And so it's cooking. And I'm going to go on. I've never done this. I usually just eat broccoli by itself. But I'm going to go on and put some mild cheddar cheese on here, and just let it melt on here while the squash is cooking, and hopefully it'll be alright. I used to eat broccoli and cheese, but I always used the slices of cheese, like the American cheese. So I don't know how this is going to taste, because I usually don't fix broccoli and cheese, like I said. But anyway, we're just going to let this melt on here while the squash is cooking, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so here's the broccoli and cheese. Here's the squash. And I really can't tell you how long I cooked the squash, because I had to cut my NuWave down on the wattage. So I don't know. I just cook it until it's mushy, just like this. And it doesn't make very much. So anyway, let me taste this. It's got a lot of onions in it. It's very hot. I thought it would have cooled off by now, but there's the onions and the squash. I love squash. All right, now let me try this broccoli with this cheese on it. See what it tastes like. Well, if I can get it up on my fork. All right, there's the broccoli and cheese. It's really mushy. I probably should have just, which I like it like that, but I probably should have just cooked it for a couple of minutes or whatever instead of 4. But I thought because it was so much that it might need that long, but it didn't. It probably would have been fine with 2 minutes. And the cheese on it is really good. And because I have to have a meat with all of my meals, I just fried some hot dogs. Hot dogs, fried hot dogs. I don't even put them on the bun or nothing. I eat them just like that. Fried hot dogs, broccoli and cheese, and squash. And I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Look below for links to my Facebook, my Twitter. and also links to things that on Amazon that you may want to purchase. And I hope you go out and get you some broccoli, and if you've got squash in your garden, this is an awesome way to make it. It is so good like this, and you have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.